All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rucha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to you, Akim, that pushes word in truth and in sincerity. Coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. In this lesson, from this channel Redacted with Clayton and Natalie Morris, they go into current events. And as you can see here, it says U.S. dollar in Africa. Okay, it says, well, let me see. Okay, well, yeah. All right, so anyways, here you have the president of Kenya going into how they're stepping away from using the U.S. dollar. And he expresses that it doesn't make sense for the country of Kenya to have to use U.S. dollars to do trade with a company, or not a company, with which these nations are nothing more than companies, but to do trade with a country like Djibouti, for instance. Why do we have to use U.S. dollars when it's a trade between two countries that are not a part of the U.S.? All right, they're not states, all right, or anything dealing with the U.S. So why do we have to use the currency? All right, so real quick, I'm gonna just play a little of this.
And we are saying that today, Afri-Exim Bank have given us a mechanism where traders in our continent can trade in their goods and services, and the Africa Exim Bank will settle payments in local currency.
All right, so there you got it, man. They're going to settle payments in local currency versus having to trade in U.S. currency. All right, now not only Kenya, but there's a lot of countries that are leaving the U.S. dollar, and getting on board with the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and a whole list of other countries that are joining with him. All right, so America is being pretty much outcast. All right, financially, economically, militarily, you name it. These countries are starting to shun America. All right, so let me grab this here in Habakkuk 2, in verse 1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved." All right, and that's the job of a prophet of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is to pretty much be vigilant, observe, and report. All right, and that's what we do. All right, the men of the Lord. Verse 2, "And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." Right? And so these visions have been broken down to us from the apostles and the elders, to where we understand and we go out and we prophesy, and we know what to look for. When certain things happen, we know, okay, according to prophecy, that's what this is. All right, so this whole pretty much dumping of the dollar, it's all part of prophecy. All right, and now that it's happening, we're talking about it. That, along with the MOTB, World War III, those are the major prophecies, the end time prophecies that we are to be vigilant and watch for, all right, and report on. Verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And it's here. All right. When we first came in, we prophesy of it, be wishing, man, oh man, I can't wait till it happen. I can't wait till it happen. And now it's actually here, man. And it's like, though it took a minute to come, now that it's here, it's like, man, that was fast. Okay? Because the Most High is in control of time. Verse 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right? So Esau's soul is not upright in him. But the just in these last days, in the latter time, we're the ones that's living via faith. We're living by our faith. And that faith that we're living by is we're living through faith in Yahweh Shai. All right, so all that faith-based Israelite mumbo jumbo that people be talking, they can save it, man. Because in the end times, the just is going to live by his faith. All right, that's how we're justified, through faith, not the law. IUIC. All right, verse 5, it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's Esau, Edom. All right. When you listen to that news segment that we just watched, dealing with the president of Kenya, at the end of that, Natalie goes into some of the history of the DR, the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC, should I say? And she mentioned how one of the back in the early 90s, or not 90s, excuse me, early 1900s, you had a leader, a president, or a leader, or whatever title he held, that they pretty much murdered, and he was against Belgium exploiting their country. All right, so Belgium exploited the Democratic Republic of Congo, taking their mineral resources and things of that nature, so that individual that was the leader of Congo, he went to the United Nations. They didn't do anything, and eventually they pretty much assassinated him. They murdered him, and then they set up a puppet in his place. All right, so that's the MO of the so-called white man. Okay, he transgresses by wine. He's a proud man, and he doesn't keep at home. He'll come with his philosophies, his doctrines, his aid. Oh, we'll help you build your infrastructure if you let us mine in this particular region, or they find out you got some type of precious metal in a certain location, and they'll go and pretty much set up shop and start excavating, the resources that are in that country, and the people of that country don't benefit from it. Okay, he's a proud man, he doesn't keep at home, and he enlarges his desire as hell. All right, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, because deaf is never satisfied. Like an obese person, a morbidly obese person, they're never satisfied. All the parasites that's within them, when they eat, those parasites is feasting. So they themselves don't really even eat. It's the parasites that's eating. So they're not satisfied. That's the same mentality or condition that Esau has, man. He's never satisfied. Okay, he's insatiable. It says, and to gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, and that's what you see here in America, for instance. You got every nation under the sun, a representative living in Babylon the Great. Okay. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that leadeth, to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right. So that word clay in the Hebrew is ibatyat, which means debt, heavy debt. So with Esau printing all this goddamn money and sending it around the world and back, that has caused the value of the dollar to drastically decrease. And now it's so much FRNs floating around that they hold no weight. On top of that, they're not backed by anything. If it was backed by gold, that would be one thing, but it's not backed by anything. It's a fiat currency. Fiat meaning let it be. People's belief that it actually holds substance is what keeps it afloat. All right, but now these other nations are realizing our country actually has value. The things that come out of the earth in their respective countries have value, and we're actually giving this value over to you in exchange for a piece of paper that has no value. All right, so these nations are hip to what's going on, and they want no parts of it. Okay, so Esau, he's lading himself in thick clay, in thick debt. All right, it says, shall not they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt beat for booties unto them. All right, so these other nations they gonna band together. Just how you got these nations turning to the BRICS. All right, they're gonna band together, and they gonna bite. All right, like a dog. You feeding a dog, and it bites you. Okay, this dog you got off the streets. You nourished it to help, and then eventually one day it just bites you while you feeding it. All right, that's what these nations is gonna do. All right, it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and of the city, and all that dwell therein. So the blood that America spilled, all right, Edomites in general, all right, but in particular America, all the blood they spilled pertaining to these other countries, they're gonna have to pay for that, man. All right, and it's gonna be violence in America as a result of that. You got mercenaries coming over here to America. You got all kind of people just flooding over the border. All right, and it's not just so-called Mexicans and Latinos. You got Chinese, you got Africans. Okay, you got all kind of people. You got Russians, Ukrainians, just flowing into America via the border. And some of those people have bad intentions. Okay, and it's gonna be all kind of shit that happens in America, man. And it's gonna be a result of what Esau has done to these other nations, man. The blood he spilled in these other nations. Hey, the Most High requireth that which is past, man. All right, verse 9, it says, woe to him that covereth that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. All right, well, that's pretty much it. I should have stopped at 8. So let me grab this here in Obadiah, verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right. So Esau is unveiled. All right. Esau, his witchcraft, his magic, his everything is being put out on the forefront, man. You got people talking about all of Esau's wickedness. Even low level individuals talking about the bullshit that's going on within society here in America, man. All right, Esau's hidden things, have been sought up and searched out. Okay, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. So all the friends that Esau had, being these other nations that he had, scared to think about doing business with Russia, business with China, depending upon the crumbs that Esau's been feeding them, that America's been feeding them for all these years, in particular, these African, the continent of Africa, the African nations, they deceived Esau. They jumping ship and getting with the BRICS, man. Hey, we'll do trade with Russia. We'll do trade with China. We'll let China come over here and build up our infrastructure. We'll let Russia come over here and have some garrisons, build a garrison or so all the goodies that America gave these other nations crippled them. All right, and so these nations got wise and hip to that, and they said, nope, no more. We don't want no more. All right, verse 8. It says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? So, hey, look at America, man. This place is completely bugged out. There's no understanding. Every week is something new, some new bullshit every week that has you scratch your head like, this shit can't continue, man. The folly that goes on in America is at an all-time high, and things that people hold in high regards and look at as being pristine is complete and utter folly. Okay, this place cannot continue, man, and it's a result of there being no understanding in the mount of Esau. Esau being that base man, as the Lord said in the book of Daniel, I believe 4 and 17, that the Lord, the basis of men. All right, Esau is the basis of men, yet he was exalted as being, reverenced as God, by individuals. All right, that the seat that he plastered all over the world had people thinking that they were the closest thing to God. That if God came down to the earth, it'd be a so-called white man. It'd be Donald Trump or some shit. But now the Lord uncovering his wickedness is showing that, hey, this motherfucker is really a base individual. Okay, and there's no understanding in him. Verse 9, it says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed at the end, that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. All right, and the Teman today is them Germans, because the Germans are the wisest of the Edomites. All right, and a lot of this technology, like for instance, the scientists, all right, dealing with the Manhattan Project and all that, dealing with the nukes, the atom bomb, splitting the atom and all that, were German scientists. All right, after World War II, those German scientists were pretty much divvied up between America and Russia. But despite them being, the wisest of the Edomites, hey, them Germans, they're not doing too good out there in Germany, over in Europe. You know, their country is in shambles as well. All right, but the point is that everyone of the Mount of Esau is going to be cut off by slaughter. All right, so every Edomite that you see here in America, that doesn't leave America by the time the missiles hit is going to be no longer. Okay, and then eventually in the kingdom, after they served 8,000 years of slavery, they're going to be rounded up in 86th. All right. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that out. Esau, his slaves, because that's all we, Israelites and the darker nations in particular. That's all we are to because a lot of these, there's some Kenyans, some Israelites over in Kenya, but majority of them Kenyans is actual Hamites. But we're not but slaves to Esau, but your slaves have woken up to your antics and your tactics and your your sleight of hand and your bullshit, and they jumping ship, man. All right, and the U.S. dollar is done, man. It's done. So, Lord willing, this has been an edifying lesson. Until next time, I say shalom.